Hey, welcome to the Lobster Magnet, the review, the channel. I'm here with my buddy Gorogregoro. We are here in the, I should call this Lobster Studios, but technically it's the Goro Studios.
Yep, that's my studio.
Yeah, we were just here playing Naruto Ninja Tensei 4, and we were having a grand old time. Did not become a millionaire thanks to Super Chat, but then again, I didn't expect to. I gave myself a Super Chat.
Nobody expects to be a millionaire, you know.
I don't know, man.
Chat.
Maybe
like,
I just
oh
see
my god, I'm dancing in front of all these people. They're gonna give me donations.
Yeah.
Everyone's gonna love me.
That's true. I don't know. I just have these visions of like, I made $500 just by streaming. And I'm like, oh, I want to make $500 just by streaming. That sounds pretty good. That sounds better than driving for Uber.
No, that's not how it works.
No, at least not yet. Not for a while. Well, anyway, that is a whole digression for another day. We are here to talk about Black Clover. The next big thing from Shonen Jump. I've talked about it a while. I've been curious to watch this anime because Shonen Jump really seems to want to push this to like be their next big thing. They've never really had any fantasy stuff like Fairy Tail, where it's like kind of like wizards and magic and medieval fantasy stuff. I don't know. Most of the Jump stuff always tends to lean more sci-fi-y. So Goro, what do you think? You like these episodes a lot more than I thought you would.
Yeah, the thing about watching those episodes, I just came back from a bar, and I was really tired. As I was watching them, the main protagonist grew a bit on me a little bit. He's like a screaming Naruto, essentially.
He's like every shonen protagonist ever.
Yeah, but he's like... But his averageness is so hammered down, like, to his very core. Like, wow, you can't even do magic. Or why you can't even do, like... Magic to them is just, like, basically, like, walking on two legs. Like,
well,
you can't even walk...
I don't really particularly have high expectations. Half the reason why I'm insisting upon watching this is because, well, I'm curious to see if the anime elevates the material. And I'm also curious to see, like, delving into the core of, like, if there's one grand thesis that I want to, like, approach, one thing I want to do is I want to figure out what makes a shonen thing click and what makes it not. When is it completely generic, and when does it, like, hit at that harsh universal truth that, like, appeals to the hearts of young girls and boys all across the land and becomes something bigger than itself? Because fundamentally, they are all the same.
I would say there were a few generic things about this. That's true. But
and the most interesting thing is that, like, you could, like, get rid of, like, the surface window dressing, and it's very similar to the My Hero Academia, like, pilot chapter. Well, not exactly, but, like, the central conceit of, like, oh my god, here are these two guys who, like, grew up as brothers, just like Deku and Bakugo, and, then the cooler guy, like, gets stopped by this villain, and it's like, ha ha ha, I could take away your magic, you're screwed. But then, our hero finds out he has an ability, or, that even though he doesn't have a quirk and or magic, he gets a special ability and saves the day.
Watch out for knocking these headphones.
That's a good point. Whoops. So you see what I'm saying in that regard?
Yeah. But I disagree that it's like on a surface level like Bakugo and Deku. But it's really like, what if Bakugo was like the main character who couldn't do anything, and Deku isn't really like this other guy. The other guy is like he's like a cool silent type.
The other guy is like your standard cool silent guy. So I guess you could say they have a little more of a Naruto Sasuke dynamic. Although the other guy seems less brooding.
Yeah, he's less brooding and he's less mean to his rival. He actually like it. I mean, to me, it feels like a very different dynamic than most other shows because, first of all, they're actually like they grew up as brothers, right? They're not biological brothers, but
as far as we know,
they're essentially brothers, and there's obviously a lot in their backstory that influenced them. Like one is like the always yelling, spunky one who, says he's going to be the next Wizard King, whatever the flarp that stupid stuff generic title means, but and
like you know what a Hokage is. Oh my god, I want to be a Hokage because it's Ninja President, and I get like my face on a rock. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
Who doesn't want to be the Pirate King?
But
what does the Wizard King
That
do?
detail doesn't bother me that much because later on, like you see the spunky kid like helping his older brother or younger brother, whatever, being teased and like being bullied. Like he actually like punches the bullies for him.
Yeah, but
and that like inspires him to become the next Wizard King too. And so he decides to become a stronger person because of his brother's spunk, and he encourages his brother still, and they just like they play off of each other. I think a lot better than most other series.
I don't know. I didn't see anything that like seemed like that different or special, but like, I will give it the benefit of the doubt. Like the pilot chapter is the most difficult chapter for any shonen series to do. There are a few pilot chapters that I really love. I'm trying to think. Promised Neverland is one of my favorite pilot chapters. I really like the Boku no Hero, My Hero Academia pilot chapter was really good, and half the reason was that because of the reveal of All Might is like an all-timer great thing. I like, what was my other favorite one? Assassination Classroom had a really good pilot chapter. But like, I'm not a fan of One Piece's pilot chapter is kind of generic-ish. Bleach is a really generic pilot chapter. The Naruto pilot chapter is awful. Most of these times, they're really difficult because like, you only have like your 50 pages to do your one shot, and you gotta like get that friendship moral. You gotta have like the evil straw man villain. You gotta have a villain like, the main guy reach some sort of cathartic thing and give him a justified punch of justice.
But you're not interested at all in like the brotherly aspect.
Well, it also kind of reminds me of this. Maybe one of the reasons why it's not as unique to me is that have you ever heard of a Blue Exorcist?
Oh, yeah, I don't think I've ever watched that.
No, you haven't missed much. Blue Exorcist is an interesting manga. It's shonen manga. I don't think it might be like, it's not in Shonen Jump, but it's like, it might be in the same family. It might be in another magazine owned by Shesue. It got an anime adaptation. It got pretty popular. It's like one of those kind of things where it's like, it has this sort of like illusion of being edgier than it is, and then it kind of like reverts back to like standard anime stuff.
Okay.
But the central gimmick is that like, there's this kid, and he's like the son of Satan, and he has like Satan powers. But he also has a brother.
Isn't that Satan 666?
No. I guess you could say it's similar to Satan 666. But this one's like more exorcist-y, with like, more traditional exorcist and priest imagery. Well, I don't know what the hell Satan 666 was supposed to be like. But anyway, so Blue Exorcist, the main guy is like, Mr. Protagonist guy. But he also has this brother, and he thinks he's shielding the brother by not letting him know about the mystical world of exorcists, and because he's going to be the best exorcist, and he's going to like beat Satan. That's his goal, right?
Okay.
But then he learns out, and then in the big twist, it turns out that his brother is also an exorcist, and not only that, he's like the teacher of the classroom he's going to, because he's that good.
Okay, so it turns out to be a twist that he's his brother too, and
well, no, they established that they're brothers from the very.
But that they're also.
But the twist is that like he thinks he can't tell his brother about the exorcism world and the supernatural things, and then he goes to the exorcist school, and then he finds out that his brother is the teacher of the exorcist school.
Well. Okay.
And like the devil kid in Blue Exorcist is kind of like the standard spunky. I'm gonna be the best. I don't care if I'm the son of Satan. Maybe a little less screechy than the main guy in Black Clover, but he's definitely in that sort of like I'm a lovable goofball, while the other brother is like the cool guy.
Yeah, like
so that they're the dynamic of the two guys, the Asta and the Yuna, seems very similar to the Blue Exorcist. So this thing is like a little little pistache of a little bit of everything. You got your fairy tale, generic fantasy, magic world. You also have little bit of the Blue Exorcist brother dynamic. You've got the kid who has magical powers but doesn't have magical powers, and you have the most important shonen element, which is swords. He gets a big old sword. As we learned in Bakuman, the element of a great battle manga is having something involving with swords.
It's weird. I'm not like that invested at all about like the plot or like anything really about like the intricacies of this world, like that they're trying to build up in this like anime or manga. It's just, I just like the character so far. I'm a little invested. I'm a little interested in like how their characters evolve.
I mean, it was. I will give you that. I did find it a little charming where there's like the semi-attractive-ish nun, and he's like, "Marry me!
Yeah.
Ah! Will you marry me now? Ah! I won't give up! Ah!" Although there's like a.
That was
I swear, when I
really
go home, I'm
crazy.
like, there's like these video compilations of him just screaming, and I want to like take just the little elements of him going ah, and like put it in front of like a race car or a bird.
You should totally do that.
Just like this.
That'd be your next video.
That'll be my like shit post video where I just like combine the audio to see how many things I can combine it with.
You gotta admit that scream is pretty iconic now.
It's becoming a little bit of a meme. Like
Yeah.
I saw a meme video of just jump cuts of all him going ah.
That's too much.
But we'll have to see. We're gonna like because we have the My Hero Academia hole filled in our anime schedules of sadness, and we one of my favorite things is like having like
Okay.
this weekly anime to like look forward to and like, hey Greg, let's go watch it together, and it's like, oh man. It's a nice feeling. It's a nice feeling. It's like it reminds me back of college when we we're looking forward to new things of Bleach.
Yeah, I mean,
Which I guess is kind of like terribly sad when it's like that's your like fondest memory of college. Like it should be like pounding brewskis and like sexy bitches, but there's something comforting about like something that you're like looking forward to and then you're like sharing it. And this whole like internet culture has kind of validated that because we have all these reaction videos and like people getting their friends together and like watching Game of Thrones and then like. So I think I'm not necessarily 100% wrong in the fact that like my sort of warm, safe, happy place is like dragging people and watching anime or something else or whatever.
yeah, I think people generally like to do that thing. Like it's not an uncommon thing to grab a couple friends or a friend or two and like watch something new and. Experience it for the first time. We're like, oh, this is a new show. We should check it out. And
Now,
it's gonna be a fun time.
I guess the
hopefully.
interesting thing is how it's sort of become like more of a thing that's more common in mainstream culture.
Yeah,
The Slavic
and there's
people.
like technology that'll support that now with like things like Twitch TV and Rabbit and YouTube and stuff like that.
So, what score would you give these 2 episodes?
Give it a 6.5 right now.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm surprised though. You're giving it much more positive than I am.
Yeah, but like, I guess now like realizing like there's so many generic things about this like that are not as interesting. I'm just mainly interested about the characters and seeing them grow, because like I'm invested a little bit in the Spunky character a bit and his brother as well, who like kind of wants to support him, and even the little side characters too, who are also like they're probably secretly supporting the Spunky character as well. It's like it seems like an interesting character piece, not so much of like the fantasy elements or anything like that are interesting, or the world building elements are interesting to me yet. But yeah, so far I'm enjoying seeing Spunky Guy like win, in this last episode where he fights against the chain guy and he gets his own stupid magic books. But none of that really matters, like the details of like how he wins. But just like the fact that he, through his determination, he won.
An interesting thing,
and also his encouragement from his brother as well.
An interesting thing is like the general dynamic of like does the this is very similar to like the conflict that one of my favorite things of first part 1 Naruto is like the Rock Lee story. Like, that's Shonen manga that resonates to me on a very deep level.
Yes, this is just like Rock Lee, in a sense,
but not quite as good. At least not yet.
Yes, he's not like a genius at. He's not like a genius at hard work.
We haven't seen that sort of like painful part where like he gets his butt handed to him by like someone much better, and then he's like up till 3 a.m. punching a log, crying to the heavens. What can I do to make myself better?
I mean, he does do one-handed push-ups like and stuff, and like run marathons. He's like,
I don't know. It feels like this guy's like, I'm just gonna put in these aspects of Rock Lee and I'm gonna throw them in so you like my spunky guy.
Yeah, it feels a little bit more genuine than that to me, honestly. Just like, they're showing like he's working hard just because, I mean, he's got such a big disability in this universe where magic apparently is everything. The nun is able to use magic. All the kids are able to use magic in front of him, and they're like poking fun of him. He can't even use magic.
Well, how do you compare it to Deku's quirkless? Like, it's very similar to Deku. Only Deku's like advantage is that he's smart and he's like, he's got book smarts.
I feel like the aspect of, Deku's quirklessness isn't quite as, like, especially in the beginning pilot episodes, it isn't quite as hammered in as Black Clover. Like, it makes it seem like it's really debilitating and really incredibly frustrating to see this character struggle without magic, as opposed to Deku without having a quirk. The Deku without having a quirk, sure, he was like bullied.
But I mean, his whole dream is like, I want to be a hero, but he can't be a hero. It's supposed to be very sad and tragic.
That was very sad and tragic, but like, I feel like we went through a little bit more. We got a little bit more of emotional impact of like what that means through Black Clover.
Interesting. Okay, that's an argument. So you're giving it a 6.5 for these 2 episodes.
You probably want to go lower now that I gave it a 6.5.
Well, originally I was thinking like 6.6 or 7, but I'll just give it a 6. I'm not. Okay. I'm surprised you were as kind as you are, even though you're giving it a pretty positive, like, verbal review. Like I didn't expect much. I didn't get much. I got pretty much exactly what I expected. But like I said, I'm like.
Can I change it? I want to change it maybe to a 7, maybe. A very weak 7. I want to give it a weak 7 because it was. I'm just looking forward to what the characters are bringing.
And this is interesting because usually I'm like a manga snob, but like I don't care enough to like read the manga for this. Mm-hmm. That'll be like a really good if like the anime gets like. If I'm being, like, converted to the point where I'm, like, actually invested to, like, look up on the Wikipedia or, like, read the manga, that'll show the anime's done its job.
Right.
Because that means I'm getting invested in the lore, the universe, the characters. I want to learn more about their relationships and backstory. But right now, like, the ultimate insult I can give to something is that, like, I don't give a shit enough to look at the original source material.
That's, like, your way of dissing an anime or a manga. An anime.
Yeah, I guess an anime based on a manga. But we'll see. Maybe in these next few episodes, my opinion will change. Like I said, I am like an evil scientist who's like cutting out the hearts of a million screaming little boys with superpowers to learn what is the true heart of this essence, what makes this genre tick, what makes it work, and what doesn't work. And I will go through a billion. And believe it! And I'm going to be the king of the pirates! And does Deku have a catchphrase?
I don't don't think so.
Plus Ultra! to like find what is, you know, at the heart of shonen storytelling that makes it work.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see here. I'm going to do something a little different for the plug this time.
Oh.
So,
okay.
Me and Zavule wrote this short story called Ad Boosters. It's on the site of the company that I loathe and used to work for, but...
And that's on Amazon?
No, it's not on Amazon. It's there'll be a link down below, and you can
You're not doing
an
Amazon affiliate plug?
No, trying something a little different here.
You should still use an Amazon affiliate plug, too.
Sure. You can go buy the Black Clover manga in Amazon. So I'm going to include a link to this story called Ad Boosters and, you know, some Black Clover manga in the Amazon affiliate. So if you're like, you know, I don't want to buy something on Amazon, then you can just go read this short story, and then I get to steal money from my old boss. And make him...
That's great!
Yeah. And you don't have to pay a thing for it. You just go down there and you read the story, and I get money for it. And I'm making him... It helps make him poor, because he's not making any money off of it. So, you know, I'm just, like, stealing him.
Well, it sounds really spiteful now, actually. Like, now I'm, like, listening to the whole monologue.
Now you're paying attention.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, so help me steal money from this guy. And get the Black Clover manga if you want. So, alright, so thank you for coming by, hearing our thoughts on Black Clover episodes 1 and 2. Give me comments. I eat comments for breakfast. They make me happy. And thank you for your time. And remember, lobsters and tennis, but don't you grab it.
Yeah.
Lobsters made of light.